Going to do an oil change on a 2014 Mazda CX5. Let's get into it. Wow. This little clip right here will pop the hood. Alright, let's move to the front of the car. Now you gotta find the little clip thing. Alright, now we're gonna prop the hood up. Little thing here, take it out of the clip. Where the arrow is, place it there. There's a close-up shot of the arrow. Alright, so next step is, you really don't have to do this, but some people do. I'll show you how to do it anyways, is to take this cover off. Nothing really to it, you just kind of pop it up. And that's it. And then you got a little bit better access to your dipstick and your oil cap. Alright, these are the supplies and tools you need to complete this job. We have here the most important part, the oil, which this car takes 0W20, which is full synthetic oil. You're also going to need to change the oil filter out. This is the aftermarket Bosch filter that fits this car, the 3300. And you're going to need an oil pan to empty everything out to. Now to the tools. You're going to need an 8mm socket. You're also going to need some type of a 8mm hex wrench. We have a socket, which is very nice to have. We have a swivel in case we need it to get into tight areas, which is very tight underneath the car. We have a little extension for our 1/4-inch driver. Got a ratchet 1/4-inch driver. We've got a converter from the 3/4-inch to 3/8-inch. Got a Torx wrench and a flathead. Right now we're going to go down underneath the car and take a look with our own eyes. There's several panels down here, and we're going to go to a specific one on the passenger side of the car, right underneath the wheel. Here's the wheel. There's your panel. Let me back out so you can see the whole panel. I think that's a good shot. And there's one 8mm bolt there, another right there, and there's a clip right here. Let me get a little better. And let's see. Let me start taking everything off. So with the clip, you just get a flathead where there's a little divot. Get in there. Take that down, and you're basically just gonna pull it out. Make sure you don't lose anything. And then with the bolts, I'll show you. You just loosen off the bolts. I'll get back to you once the bolts are off, and I'll show you how to take off the cover. Alright, I got the screws out. Nothing in there. Nothing in that one. Nothing in this clip hole. So now I'm going to show you how to take down the cover, which basically you have to take it from this area over here where the clip was, pull down, and that's it. Then you got access to your oil filter, and right over here, let me get the camera in the right orientation, you're going to see your oil drain plug. Alright, so I got my oil pan underneath my oil filter, and we're going to hopefully get this thing off. And it's a little tight down here, so it's not easy. So let me try to get into a good position to take this thing off by hand, because these things were initially put on by hand. You're never supposed to use any type of wrench or tool to put these on. They're always hand tightened. So let me try to get in there, and I don't know if I can. Alright, I had to raise up the car to get into a better position since this thing was very tight. It's moving ever so slightly. Alright.
You know, hold on.
It's moving out, so. Alright. Yeah. Okay. Alright, so I just pretty much broke it loose in about a quarter turn. It's gonna start dripping. So get ready. It's nice and black. Alright, so now I'm taking off the oil filter. It's oil dripping all over my hands, kind of sucks, but it's nature of the game. Make sure it doesn't, you know, splash into. Oh god! Alright, so I've got my 8mm socket, and I'm using a breaker bar because it's quite tight down there. So I'm gonna put it on there. Let's get break. Alright, it's broken. So let's just go like this. Make sure your oil pan is directly underneath unless you're gonna have fun. All over yourself in the driveway. Like that. Alright. Oh. Alright, so now that we have the drain plug out, clean it off a little bit, make sure you have this aluminum ring, it's the gasket, make sure everything's in good condition, make sure there's virtually no oil coming out of here anymore, so we're just going to plug her back up, tighten her to the right specifications, which I believe is around 25 foot-pounds with a torque wrench, and put our filter on. Alright, so I put in my drain plug, made sure I hand tightened it so it doesn't strip out that oil pan. Now I set my torque wrench here to about 25 foot-pounds, torque it to the right specifications, and let's get to it. I think that's it, right? Just clicked. Yep, just clicked, so that's torqued on there. Alright, we got our new filter, the Bosch 3300. Alright, so now we're going to moisten the top of the O-ring so it creates a nice seal on the engine case. So we got to take off this aluminum seal here, on top of here.
Inside the bottle.
Then you're going to take your finger, dip it in there, rub it along top, as so.
Oh, yes. Very nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Good job.
Alright, so now that we got it nice and moistened up, we could go put her back on the car.
Oh.
Alright, I'm back under the car with my filter. I'm about to put it on. Make sure, always hand thread this and make sure you're definitely not cross threading this. Tighten it on by hand, and you never use a tool with this.
Never.
Because if you use a tool, it'll strip something out. Tighten it on as tight as you can, and then go an extra eighth of a turn. Alright, so now that we got everything tightened up, let's put on this cover. Alright, so make sure you have this side go underneath first, hold it up a bit, and you're gonna have to make sure everything snaps on. Good. Alright, everything's snapping on. Place this thing, make sure it's in the outside position like this. Just push it in, snap like that, and tighten back on these screws. First do it by hand so you don't strip anything, and then go get your wrench and tighten it up. Alright, so you're going to take off your oil cap on the top of the engine. Pull it off. Make sure you have a nice funnel so you don't get oil all over the engine case. And this engine takes about 4.5 quarts of oil. So this is a 5 quart. This is a 5 quart jug of oil. Alright, so there's about a half quart. Right there, there's the quart line, there's about halfway, so we're good on oil. Alright, so now we're going to check the oil level with our dipstick just to make sure we're at the right levels. Gonna pull it out, wipe it down, put it back in, take it back out, take a look at the levels. That seems pretty good. Alright, now we're going to fit this cover back on top. We're going to make sure we line up these all on top of the engine case. These are the little balls that go in here. Then these two go here and here. It's a little tricky, but and that's it. Thank you for watching, and please give me a thumbs up and subscribe.